Everyone is doing well and accounted for this morning. Hi, Gray. Hi, Tux. So I've been waiting for my abelia to bloom, and it's finally open. It's a pretty little flower. Kind of bugle or trumpet shaped. And the nice thing about it is all of the blooms on the plant are in various shades of pink. So you've kind of got this nice graduated color scheme. This plumbago is also blooming. It's been here several years. Dawn's sister planted it and it comes back. It's a perennial. Besides the helleborus, which is finishing blooming, I also have this spiderwort over here. This flower is interesting because it opens in the morning and closes in the evening. And the flowers last on it a pretty long time. So we're surviving through the next round of pollen. I think this is from oak trees. And as you can see, this is just a couple days worth. It's pretty heavy. Over here, I blew the driveway. And on the cement, I didn't go that far. I'm very pleased with my rose bush. This one doesn't really have a scent, but it will have blooms a good part of the summer. And this peony that I planted, which is probably just a smidge too deep and has never bloomed, guess what? I've got a bloom this year. It's in contrast to the darker blooms on this peony. This one always does good. I just didn't stake it up this year. Our yard is full of Native American hollies, and we love them. But you don't ever want to walk barefoot near them in the spring, because in the spring is when they drop their old leaves, see under there, and then open up the new ones pushing out the old ones. And you get all this holly leaves drop to the ground, and it's not fun on your feet. But you can see this holly has a lot of berries forming for the coming winter season. Now Don loves the ferns, and I agree with him. These came up on their own. Yeah, Johnny's in there with his computer. You know, we have a full house air conditioner, but that room with the electronics gets too hot, so Don put the little window unit in. But at any point, these are all native ferns that just came up in the yard. There's 3 different varieties in there. Might be hard to see. This one is different from the one next to it. And they're gorgeous, and there are ferns all over the all over the yard. We had some cinnamon ferns on the way out to get the paper too. Those are the super big tall ones. I keep on meaning to look up what this plant is. I don't know, and it has the most interesting leaves. And over here we have an andina bush, which is considered an invasive and questionably healthy for the birds. I tend to cut off the berries. And of course that's popped up here and in many other places in our woods because the birds have dropped the seeds. Later on in the summer, these 2 rows of Sharon or Althea, they'll bloom. I planted both of those there. Well, Dawn probably planted them. So Dawn and Johnny have been having a discussion about our Wi-Fi network setup, and Dawn's taught Johnny enough to set up devices in the house. Not everything he knows, but a little bit. And we've lost the remote control for the stand fan in Johnny's bedroom. And we are setting up one of these Etekcity Wi-Fi outlets so that Johnny can not turn it on, but turn it off from bed at night if he gets too cold. So here's the fan, and you know, as soon as we get this Wi-Fi switch set up, we'll find the remote control today. That's Murphy's Law. That's what Don told Johnny. So here's what they look like. There's 2 to a box. They're about 26 bucks. The only downfall to these is that they won't work. They don't go through the SmartThings hub that we have, so they only work with Alexa. They won't work with our Google Home because we happen to have both in the house, but that's okay, because in this room all we've got is one dot for Johnny to talk to anyway. So the fact that it won't work with the Google Home that we have in a couple other rooms doesn't matter. You ask yourself, why do we have both? Just because we could, I guess. So these are pretty easy to set up, and they're cheap because, you know, if you've bought a switch that goes through a hub, you're probably paying $26 to $35 for a single one. And so these have the benefit of A, working well, and B, being a less expensive way. I mean, who wants to spend $30+ just to automate one lamp or one device? So here it's like, you know, $12 or $13. That makes it more affordable. So Johnny took everything out from underneath the sink in here, and I have now cleaned this area. Next, I think the kitchen sink. So Don's out here with Johnny helping him put a few new things on his bike. Yeah, his old bell disintegrated, so now he can warn people on the trail in front of him that he's coming. But not annoyingly so. And Johnny's got a new little tail light for the back. He had a nice little LED in the front that still works. And this is a water bottle bag and a, if you had to carry some change with you, bag.
Yeah, we're gonna load him up. He's gonna carry all
of our stuff. At least the water bottle. Good thing about all this stuff is it can easily move to another bike.
Oh.
Strobe. So when we bought Ruby, the tow package was extra, and we did get the tow package, and we've not had this on the car before, so it's going to be the first time we put it on the car. That looks like fun.
Oh yeah.
Not. Oh. So there's a cover that goes up there when the tow hitch isn't on?
Yeah, that hides everything, that's right. It has little removable clips. And then there's this thing, so you don't want to lose those two things. This keeps the dirt, dust and dirt and gunk out of that, because there's a little bit that gets up in there. Oh! I got it on there. I'm trying to see which way.
So you just push it in and the springs come out or something?
Yeah, you pull out and rotate the thing, and it locks into this, quote, red position. And then when you put it up in there, and basically when I put it up in there, it snapped. And let me tell you, you don't want your finger underneath that spring. The thing you pull, the knob you pull up on spring loaded. And you don't want your finger behind that, because it caught just a clip of mine.
Ouch.
Yeah, well, it was a little ouch. It wasn't bad ouch, but if it would have, it pinched the crap out of me.
Don had put the bike rack together when I wasn't here. Said he could have probably used an extra set of hands. It was easy enough to put together, but holding it.
Right.
Sliding it in there sure seemed easy enough.
Yep.
I think even I could do that, assuming the receiver was on.
For the hole. Oh, maybe my pin's too big. Yeah, it's too big.
So Don wanted to use this hitch pin with the bike rack. It's not the one he actually wanted to use, but it's the one he could find. And it was 40/64 when he measured it, which we used real math and reduced down to 5/8. And he's checking to see if he can have a 5/8 drill bit. Yeah, the hole on the bike rack is too small. The hitch, it's fine, but the bike rack is small. All right, this is another hitch pin. Still not the one he really wants, but this one's the right size. Okay. Now, without drilling. All right. Oh, here we come. We got. He says, doesn't everybody have 3 or 4 hitch pins that they can?
This one ain't gonna work either. This one's too big.
Yeah, that one looks pretty fat.
But look how nice and red. Gonna match Ruby.
Oh yeah, I hear that.
My girl, she's going to love it, but I found it. So, anyway. But that'll work next time.
I remember when we bought these clip pins, these cotter pins, up at Harbor Freight one time when we were up there. I said, Donnie, we always need these pins. We need to buy that thing of pins. I remember that.
That was you saying all that?
That was, because I use them sometimes. It was.
Yeah,
well, besides, even if it wasn't, which it was, if your wife gives you an excuse to buy tools and thinks it's a good idea, you ought to seize the moment.
I think that's right. Oh, this hitch pin came from the hitch on the lawn tractor.
Right. Don went in garage 2 under the house over there in the crawl space where he keeps the yard equipment.
Okay, so this one, the reason I like this one is it collapses. As you can see, it folds down. And what I do to keep the bar from moving, I use this pin that came with it, and I stick it through the holes, and it held it. So I undid that so that I can swing it up.
We haven't opened the garage door yet because this is only it's hot out there and it's cool in the garage.
It's nice and cool. All right, so there we go.
Oh wow, that was easy to lift. I mean, that was a no-brainer.
Right, that was a no-brainer.
Way cool. Well, that looks nice back there.
Yeah, well, hopefully Johnny's bike's not so small.
Not so small it won't fit.
Right.
It's close.
Yeah, we can make it. We can get her.
So obviously, if you only have one bike, you want to mount it closest to the car.
Right.
Now you said you liked what about this bike thing? This, that you like these straps, you like this connection up here.
Oh, they're adjustable. Yeah.
You were trying to describe to me that it was a little different than what you would get sometimes.
Right. Yeah. It's just that, of course, you know, everything being equal. There we go. Have to, yeah, that's what we gotta do. So, of course, Johnny's little bike is
A little harder to mount than a full-size bike.
Yeah.
Like we said, we're not opposed to getting Johnny a new bike, but we figure he's about to have a growth spurt. Don has his electric bike in the garage that he could ride. I've got one under the front porch that's a nice giant bike. I mean, we can go get him one from Guardian Angel if we think he needs an intermediate before he's done growing, but we'll just playing right now. Seeing if this works for the family before we invest more.
I really don't expect it to fall off.
I told Don I didn't care what kind of equipment we got, as long as we made sure Ruby couldn't get hurt. He could spend as much or as little as he wanted on the bike rack, but we had to ensure that Ruby would not get hurt.
I don't think, I mean, I admit that this is wobbly around in there a little bit, but I don't know that without some kind of a wedge or something, and it's just going to wiggle anyway. I'm going to go get a bunch of it.
Okay. I am going to try recording while I am on my longboard today with the GoPro on my wrist and see what I think about that.
So one of the reasons I wanted to get this particular bike rack, there were others out there. They were much more expensive, and as I said, you know, we don't plan to go far. These are just little afternoon day trip type things to bring the bike, so we don't have a big need. So also, you know, we're not carrying those $15,000 racing bikes or anything like that. So this one I felt, and since I put it together, I think it's plenty strong. This thing is not going to fall off the vehicle. It's not going to, bolts aren't going to fly off. I mean, they're all lock washers and stuff. So I'm quite happy with the quality of this for the money and the particular use, the value. I think we'll have no trouble. But the main selling point of this particular model over the other ones I've seen, because there were some even less expensive than this, is this one tilts. So it's got a pin here. You pop off the holder, slide the pin out, and the pin even has a little cable on it, so you won't lose the pin. And it folds out. Probably shouldn't hold on to the bike. Should hold on to the rack, and that allows you to easily open up your trunk.
We did try carefully a few minutes ago to see if we could open it in the up position, and it's 1 centimeter too close.
Right. This pin up at the top, which allows the yoke to fold down when it's not in use. If this pin was orientated different, it might have cleared, but it's just too close to call. So anyway, this rack has that nice feature. Granted, because they have locking hitch pins. If this was locking, then nobody could take the bike stand.
But again, we're local, and this is only $55, including shipping. So this is not the kind of thing. I'm not going to spend 30 bucks on a hitch pin that locks.
For a $50, yeah.
Right, because then of course I'm going to lose the key, and then it'll be locked on. You know, there's all kind of issues with that kind of stuff. So, you know, I know me pretty well, and so I think I'll risk the fact that most people aren't going to be in need. Now, if I had a $15,000 bike on here, I'd have the super duper locking hitch pin. I'd probably have a big old heavy cable on my bike locked to it, you know, and all that stuff. But this is
yeah.
Please come by, steal all this. Do me a favor.
No. So we'll put a link in the video description just in case you're in the market for a not overly expensive but seems to be good quality bike rack.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a review, another update when we get home after we've
driven it
with it.
Yep.
And see how we like it. But so far, I'm pleased.
Yeah, and off eBay.
Off eBay.
Off eBay was where we bought. I told Don not to leave his drill up there. He said that's all right. If he runs over it, it'll just be the second time it gets run over, because someone, me's already run over it one time. But other than a little scuff, you can't tell it was run over. Works like a champ still, said DeWalt. Yeah, if you put it in reverse, it very clearly says stop.
Even though, and then if you
here
back
in the backup camera, yeah, it's very upset.
Yeah, but when you go forward, it doesn't say anything.
So we were wondering if we should put on trailer mode. We're not really carrying a trailer per se.
Now we got a little trailer over here.
Oh yeah, we do.
All right, now I'm gonna put it in reverse.
Let's see if it does anything different, reacts any differently.
It still says stop.
Still says stop, and of course still shows the bike.
No difference.
No difference. So does everybody that hooks up a trailer has to put up with that noise when they have something mounted back there while they're backing up? I mean, that would just, if I was doing some fine-tuned backing with the trailer and it was beeping at me like that non-stop with the trailer back there, that would be hard to concentrate, I think.
Oh, it's yellow mode now. Maybe I should put it in park. And then close this.
Were you turning it back off?
I tried to. It says
turn it on and then off again.
I think it knows something's in the hitch.
Yeah, maybe that's the case.
Because you connected it to a car, right?
Oh no, it's not. There's nothing. There's no wiring for the bike rack.
Not for a bike rack. Yeah, so with it turning back off now, it won't like go back off. It's on
like
yellow. It's still got the trailer up there. We'll have to look that up too. So after just a few seconds out of the driveway, the yellow trailer went away. Well, as we found out, being in trailer mode doesn't seem to affect what happens when you're in reverse. The sensors still go nuts. But I did some research while Don's driving here, and the one thing trailer mode gets you is the lights. So if you have lights on, something back there, if you've hooked up lights, then you've got to be in trailer mode. Lights don't work if you're not in trailer mode. So obviously we don't have any lights on the bike rack. Although, as Johnny pointed out, it does have some reflectors on it. So we're supposed to have rain here tomorrow or later tonight, but it's 81 out there, and this cloud cover is making it pleasant to be outside. You know, out in the full sun, 80, 85, that gets to be a little uncomfortable, but I think this will be fine for our little outings. One of the reasons we waited later in the day is it's going on 5 o'clock. So we didn't hear it, but one time back there, just a little rattle. It was very quiet. It wasn't bopping around, making a lot of noise or anything. Johnny and Don were both watching it rear view mirror and out the back window, and it was fine. Works like a charm. I'm liking that voice control. We'll see if I can do everything okay on my wrist. Hey, Donnie. GoPro, stop recording. Well, I am able to hold my arm up and see when I'm shooting, so that's kind of cool. Oh wow, I didn't realize the lake was this close. That's pretty cool, huh? He's gone this way. Yeah, I don't think it really goes any way in the other direction. I could be wrong though. The lake's really pretty. Yeah, this is closer to, the lake's closer to the trail than I thought it would be. I want to stop and take a look at the lake. My feet are burning a bit. It would be good for me to stop for a minute. Yeah, the voice commands are really making it easy for me to keep up with the action, and I'd have to say that I like the wrist mount. So far, so good. I love you guys.
Yeah, love you too.
So on the far end of the lake down there is where we've come from. That's the parking lot on Laura Duncan Road. And in this direction is the other parking lot. And of course this trail goes all the way around the lake. This is the park, Apex Park, that I spotted out a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I needed to rest my feet for a few minutes. I guess I'm nervous, especially when I first get on the board. It's been 2 weeks, and I'm a little gripping with the bottoms of my feet a little harder than I need to. It's kind of like clenching your teeth, only not. So I'm better now that I rested for a minute. Donnie always comes back for his girl, don't you, Donnie? Yeah, a little space between us and other people on the trail, sure. Sometimes as an old lady on a longboard, I get a few looks, but Don on the unicycle, there's no competing with the looks he gets. Okay, bud, you're good to go. Thanks for being courteous on the trail. It's really pleasant out here. A little bit of a breeze because of the motion being on the longboard and in the shade, and the sun's gone in, and it's just really nice out here. A little bit of a breeze on its own. So we're on the other side of the lake now, going back. The guys are ahead of me. It's a little dam down there. No water coming over it today. a pretty good little hill there. Woo! Offered me to go around a second time, but I said I was good. I would have liked to have gone a little farther, but probably not a whole nother way around. Really like this trail. Only one bridge and only a couple places with cement. Almost all asphalt, not a lot of roots. People were minding the trail well. I would definitely want to come here again.
You done?
Yes. Yeah, you gotta really be done now, because Don don't want to get the bike rack up there and the bike on, and then, oh yeah, I need something else back there.
It isn't that bad, but yeah, it's, you know, better to be done.
Don said the second time putting this bike on, much easier. You know, he kind of sees what's the right way to place it onto the little holder there. It's going to be a little different for every bike.
Right. This one seems to be pretty adjustable though.
Yeah. So while we're here, we're going to check out this Elevate fitness course. Oh yeah, this is like walking on bouncy stuff. It must be rubberized underneath there.
It's the turf stuff.
Yep. Hey Donnie.
You know, this is real good. These bars are nice and comfortable for learn how to ride a unicycle.
Unicycle, yeah. You just had that course in your yard.
Now this is not bad right here.
Oh wow, this is like Ninja. Help me out. Yeah, you're supposed to walk on the side, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. On the side.
Yeah.
I'll try it on the side. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one because I don't really have good shoes.
Yeah, Don accidentally brought the wrong shoes today.
These shoes are like 2 more out. They have no tread on them.
I love Donnie. He's always game for anything, aren't you, Donnie? Oh, you're a little tall for that. Can you do it, Johnny? A couple bars?
No. Yeah! I am going to use my resources though.
All right. Oh, wow. I'm sorry you don't have the right shoes. I know you could be faster with the right shoes.
Oh, trust me, these fine. These shoes, this is the speed I need.
Look at you go, Donnie.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I guess that's easier when you're like 50 pounds.
Then that side. 13 years old.
Yep. Yeah, this is something I certainly couldn't do. I'd be lucky to hold on once. Donnie, pretend you're a football player. Oh, that's great. Johnny has a different technique for getting across that. I like your creativity, buddy. This is like the web at the zoo.
Although it's padded, it ain't that padded.
Hey, bud.
Hi.
So as you can see, here we're going down 64 at 55 mile an hour, and there's not too much movement back there. So it's supposed to rain here tomorrow, and Johnny and I need to fool with our sumo bots. The competition is next weekend, next Saturday, so we don't think we'll be back out tomorrow. Although Don did offer. So he's going to go ahead and take the bike rack off. And the hitch. You were really asleep over there, Gray. It's a good girl. Johnny's putting some food out. Oh, well, that wasn't too hard.
Oh, that wasn't great. In the metal cap. Snaps in there. And then this goes in at the back first, it looks like. There's clips on the side. And then these
Something to tighten.
No?
Oh, the clips, okay. I sort of see. It's impossible for me to really show folks, but
It's black.
yeah, without me getting down on the ground with you. Not today. Oh, there's one little clip down there still?
I know.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, other than you having to get on the ground, that doesn't seem too painful.
No, I would agree. I would say it was quite straightforward. And yeah. And then there is a little cover.
Cool.
I'll come back and get that up.